That's okay. Anyway, the idea is that we're in True Living Color. And speaking of True Living Color, I love Two Shades so much. And I
You.
talked to Greg quite a bit. I just had to text him while I was driving, listening to it. I'm old school, so I still have a CD chamber in my car, and I
I do too.
exhausted that.
Yeah, I do too. In fact, when I have to get a new car, I have an old '06. When I have to get a new car, you can still order them, I think, with CD players.
Yeah.
If I have to special order it with a CD player instead of Sirius or whatever they have, that's what I'm going to do.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have an offer. Buy one CD, get a CD player with it.
Nice. Just as long as you don't get an 8-track. I don't think anybody's going to miss that.
Yeah.
Well,
I never had one.
I had a guy I worked with for a while that when he was in high school, they would get into Led Zeppelin 4 and go crazy. And there was a song that would stop and you would have to flip it over to keep the song going. So everybody in the car is doing like a Bohemian Rhapsody, getting into it, and then the thing just stops and you got to flip it out. So you lose momentum.
Oh my God.
Right.
Crazy.
That's right. That's a nice thing about CDs too, even as opposed to vinyl, that you listen to the whole thing in its entirety without having to stop, flip over the record to the other side. I like that aspect of CDs. I also like that there's no surface noise.
Yeah.
And you don't wear them out from playing them too much like vinyl. It's an improvement, except I like the bigger size of the vinyl.
Yeah.
But everything else about CDs seems to be an improvement.
Yeah.
I don't understand why so many people think it's obsolete.
Well, it's just the whole digital thing. So, that's the main thing right now. But gentlemen, it's great to see you. Thank you for taking a minute out. I had to talk to you about this album and your collaboration. So if you wouldn't mind just telling me respectively, where are you coming from in the country?
I live just outside of Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Okay.
It's only about 5-minute drive right into town.
Okay.
Mailing address is Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Okay. And Greg, where are you at today?
I'm in Coventry, Rhode Island. It's about 20-minute drive to the main city.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm in Kansas City. I'm delighted to talk to you guys about the album and how you guys hooked up. So let's get into it. So Reflection and Two Shades, the brand new album. Talk to me before we get into how you guys came together and put this album together. How did you guys meet? How did this musical union happen?
You mean for the album?
Well, just in general, that led up to the album, just kind of the beginnings of your musical relationship that led up to this album.
Well, I had a guitar player friend. This is going back, over 20 years. I had a guitar friend named Kent Burnside, who was living in Ohio, and he and Greg hooked up. And then Kent brought me into the mix for some quartet gigs. And then Greg, the next time he came around, he started staying with us. And so we've been playing whenever he comes into Ohio and comes into our area here, we hook up for gigs. And that's been going on again. That's been over 20 years. So, and then we've become very good friends over that course of time. Actually, it really didn't take long for us to become very good friends. That happened happened pretty quick, actually.
It's fun to know you, man.
Oh yeah, likewise.
I've watched more movies, films since I've known Lee.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. We had all these gigs, and it was like 5 nights in a row. He said, "Let's go home and watch The Wolfman after the gig's over. Let's go home and watch The Wolfman because we're both fans of Lon Chaney Jr."
Oh yeah, excellent.
That's where the in the Night came from, that recording I did, Monsters in the Night.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have it, but anyway, it's really good. It's really great to be coming out there and doing gigs with Lee occasionally, twice a year most of the time.
And I think that's the thing that's always so good and promising about the jazz community is there's so much interchanging, there's so many collaborations, and you guys are always so good at what you do that you can just get together and pick it up and go. It's a very versatile crowd of artists that really can get in there and do it. So, yeah, the interchangeability is wonderful. So, how did this? What was the idea behind this album? And as I mentioned before, I love it. It's such a seamless album. It goes front to back so well. How did you guys come up with this idea and actually do it?
Well, it was Lee's
Well,
idea.
well, yeah. Thanks, thank both of you. I had it in the back of my mind for a long time that I would like to do an album of all original material, and so I picked some tunes out, and then I also had some other tunes started that I had to finish. So I had some more writing to do that I wanted to put on the album, and Greg called one night, and I just asked him if he would like to help me make this album, to play on the album, and he agreed to it. And at that point, it was just Greg and I were the only ones, and so out of the blue, I got a call from an old friend, the piano player that's on the album, Matt Cooper. And I was going to ask him anyway, but the fact that he lives in Oregon kind of made it difficult. His wife lives, she has family that lives just a couple counties over from us. So once in a while they come back for a visit. But I got this email from him just out of the blue. It said that they had bought a house in Xenia, and which is only 15 minutes from here. And so they didn't give up their Oregon house, but now they have two residences, and he's in Ohio more often than he used to be. So I asked him to do it, and he agreed. He was on it, on board 100%. And I got my first call bass player too. So what I had to do at that point was finish the writing. Greg was coming in. It was October of 2022. He was coming in for some gigs anyway. So I had sent the music to the guys ahead of time. And then when they got here, we had a rehearsal. We had a brief rehearsal here at the house. And then the next night, Greg had a gig, and he included a few of the pieces that were going to be on the record on the gig. And then the next morning after that, we went into the recording studio, and we recorded six tunes that day. And then we went back the following Tuesday and recorded five more tunes for a total of 11. And then I eliminated two, and so the nine songs on the record are what we ended up with.
So
Yeah.
what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
Well, same thing you get.
Yeah.
Just hopefully it's an enjoyable listening experience for anybody that's receptive to jazz.
So, Greg, how does this musical chemistry work for you guys? What's special about it?
Well, we've always had good times on gigs. We had some up and down times in certain venues, but always been great. It's always been a nice, they say, is hang in the music language, and also being seeing Lee's family grow up and visit with his lovely wife Sue, and made so many great friends, which is a lot of things that's very important to me when I'm on the road, just to play and have people in my life that are meaningful, you know, and they learn from them and hopefully from me. But musically, I'm really glad that Lee could get this out because I know he's wanted to do this for a long time, and I'm so happy that I could help him achieve getting airplay with his music, and that's makes me really happy. And I'm glad that I'm on it because it helps me as well. But I think that we help each other, you know, and I think it's a good stepping stone for Lee to have this, and then he could, you know, move further with getting more recognition internationally with his music and his playing.
As he definitely should. Are you guys planning on any gigs together? Anything coming up to promote or anything?
Well, we've got two gigs coming up in September on the 29th and 30th, and that's in Yellow Springs and in Centerville, Ohio. There's one gig that we're not doing that. We're doing we're not doing the one in Yellow
Cincinnati,
Springs. Which one
Cincinnati,
do we what?
Centerville and Cincinnati.
Yes. Is that the
Centerville, Schwartz's Point in Cincinnati, and
yeah,
Hidden Gem in Centerville.
that's right. Cincinnati and Centerville. So
Yeah.
I'm going out there too. I was invited to work at a school, for a few days and artist in residence in the Cincinnati schools. So I'm gonna have that too, and then go on to Lexington to be at the University of Kentucky. Stuff
Right
like
on.
that. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to pick this up proper, as we kind of talked about with CDs and vinyl and anything else, I know digital is always out there and streaming, but you guys actually get a little bit of revenue if people buy it. Where's the best place for people to pick up the album?
Well, Lee.
Oh well, I try to sell some as I do gigs and cross paths with people that I know, and of course the Summit Records website, and it's also on online at a lot of online record stores, online stores that sell CDs and records. And there's a local record shop in Dayton that I took some to on consignment. And then there's also a record shop that I plan on checking in right in Yellow Springs, and I'm going to check into that and see if the guy there is receptive to a situation for my CD. But probably on the most of those online record shops, and the Summit website would be probably the greatest source of I would tend to think anyway would be the greatest source of CD sales.
It's a beautiful cover, beautiful mountain range. So what's the idea behind the title and the picture?
Well, the title, Reflection in Two Shades, is every tune is for someone, and Reflection in Two Shades is the self-portrait. So that's it is self-portrait. It's because I'm always reflecting on what I did. Did I do okay or not? If not, how do I do better? Even if I do okay, how do I do better still? And so it's a self-portrait.
Nice.
And the cover artwork came from the Summit Records graphic artist. I picked out some CDs from Summit. There was like about 6 CDs from Summit that the artwork kind of caught my eye, and so I said, okay, that these CDs, this artwork is, I like these a lot, and I also told him that I was a big fan of Blue Note cover artwork from the 60s. And so he said, well, that really helps a lot. So so he sent me that. That was the first cover artwork that he sent, the first draft. I said, it's really nice. Let's go with that. And the reflection on the, if you notice on the artwork, there's a pond below the mountains, and which reflection in two shades. There's a reflection in the water on that too. So it kind of ties in with the title, Reflection.
Right on. Well,
Really
gentlemen,
cool.
go ahead.
Oh no, I said that's really nice. To hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, gentlemen, this has been wonderful. I really just wanted to kind of touch base and get an idea of your history and the album and live shows, and I appreciate it. I can't wait to play it on the show. So thank you for taking a minute out today.
Oh, great having me, and Greg too. Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's good
Thanks,
to see you.
Greg,
Good to see you.
for setting this up.
Yeah. Well, Joe. Joe got the CD from Michael Carlson, who's the Summit Records radio promoter. That is very good, and I guess Joe got in touch with me again because he worked on my other record, but it's like all in the mainstream now, so it's on a roll, right, Joe?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing your name pop up all over the place. So yeah, it's wonderful. I love it. And
Thanks,
we've had a long
Joe.
history with talking and going through material, so it's always great to get you on the show. And like I said, that was kind of the reasons why I brought up the collaboration. It's so good that you cats are so interchangeable. You're so good at what you do. You guys can just pop in the studio and you're improv masters. You're in.
And like Lee says, it's always working. You always want to do better. So like the thing about the two shades, we all have that. It's kind of a curse in a love-hate relationship, because you like what you do at the moment. It's always fun for me to play, but listening back is always a harder thing for me, because I want to say, oh, I gotta do this. But when people like you and that know a lot about jazz, and they've heard tons of records, when they say that they like our recordings, that means a big deal to me. So
Me too.
let everybody. Yeah. So thanks for having me on the show, Lee.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. You guys perfected it. So